Hello and welcome to Shannon Gardens. Thank you guys so much for joining me. So in this week's video, I wanted to bring you guys along with me on a recent visit I made to Atlanta Botanical Gardens Gainesville location for their Forest Forms Woodland Wonders exhibit, as well as getting some gardening inspiration just from visiting there and the different plant combinations that they put together, and wanted to share what I saw with you guys and hopefully bring some inspiration into your gardens as well. So I believe that's it. With that, let's get to it. We arrived at the Atlanta Botanical Gardens Gainesville location, which is just northeast of Atlanta, and were immediately greeted by beautiful flowers both in ground and in containers, as well as the wonderful metal sculptures from Atlanta artist Hulani May that make up the Forest Forms Woodland Wonders exhibit currently on display through October 5th. Included along with the metal sculptures, there's also fun facts listed about each animal, insect, and plant featured as well. The deer sculpture shown here was absolutely magnificent, standing among the hydrangeas and the beautiful plum-colored elephant ears below. Now, as we continued through the gardens, there are just so many hydrangeas in bloom, anywhere from panicle hydrangeas, which generally prefer more sun, to mophead, and then big leaf hydrangeas like I'm showing you guys here. And I just have such an appreciation for these beautiful plants. I think they're so indicative of Southern gardens and just absolutely gorgeous to me, and something I really enjoy and want to add more of in my garden as well. This container has a beautifully colored elephant ear called Redemption Elephant Ear and is surrounded by Cascade Violet Vinca at the base. Next, we came to Kathy the Busy Bee, which I loved and thought it was highlighted so well by the surrounding yellow and orange colored flowers, like these orange lilies that you're seeing to the right of the bee sculpture. Next, we have a container pairing the Hollywood First Lady Hibiscus with the baby wing pink begonia and Bombay white Civola. And then we have our next container with the Hollywood America's Sweetheart Hibiscus with baby wing pink and red begonias, along with the Bombay white Civola. Now just look at this elephant ear. This is called the Hawaiian Punch elephant ear, and you can see the beautiful red stems paired with the bright green leaves. What I really like here is how they planted the red begonias to tie in the coloration of those beautiful stems. I absolutely love the color of this next plant, which is the Euphorbia cotinnifolia, I hope I said that correctly, or Caribbean copper plant. That foliage color is gorgeous and is paired with caladium, impatiens, begonias, and English ivy. We walked through several different varieties of hydrangeas and then came to this beautiful plant called platycrater, which I may be mispronouncing, but I will put its name on the screen here. This is part of the hydrangea family and has these wonderfully dainty white flowers and narrow green leaves that I found absolutely lovely. We next passed the garden phlox, which if you guys have been tuning in, you know is a personal favorite of mine, and came to Dakota, the bear cub, sitting among the beautiful panicle hydrangeas, serving as the backdrop. This colorful container has brightly colored fuchsia and sun patience and trailing coleus, which I thought was a really striking addition, and then dwarf morning glories, which are favorites of mine to add to containers at my home. That's one of the great things about visiting different gardens is getting ideas on plant combinations and then tailoring them to your own space and containers while also providing insight into scale and colors that you can play with at home as well. This is something that I'm doing very soon in my own garden, which is planting a smaller vine with trailing plants at the base. I think this is such a pretty combination, and I'm really excited to add that look to my garden as well. Mike the Wise Owl perched on his tree branch might be my favorite sculptural piece, although there are so many wonderful pieces to observe while you're walking around the garden. This is another great combination with the polka dot begonias paired with coleus, which I find very striking. Now look at how this bat stands out against the lime green foliage surrounding it. I love that purple color. I just think it's so striking against that green and absolutely love this piece as well. This pond is so relaxing. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to capture just how much dragonfly activity was going on here at the pond. Now, this pond contains both water lilies and lotus, and water lilies can be identified by their leaves and flowers floating on the water, while lotus's leaves and flowers rise above the water's surface. There are so many plants in our next container grouping, so I'll try to name the majority of them that you'll see here. We first have the dwarf banana, truly tiny, Hollywood First Lady hibiscus, portulaca, ribbon plant, Titan apricot vinca, golden shrimp plant, which I really want to add to my containers next year, trailing vinca, and then creeping Jenny, which is a favorite that I like to add to my containers yearly, and that one dies back in the winter and then comes back in spring. And then lastly, yellow rain lily. They have these wonderful butterfly bushes, and then they also have cone flowers, which I just added some cone flowers to my garden, and I'll link that video at the end of this one if you'd like to take a look at the varieties I added. And then they also have this beautiful dark mystery hibiscus. Next, we have a magnificent container using Angelonia, which is a favorite annual of mine, as well as blue midnight trailing petunia, zinnias, and sweet potato vine. Just look at this combination. I'll also include a video about Angelonia at the end of this video if you'd like to learn more about this low maintenance annual. Look at these towering scarlet hibiscus. They are just beautiful. I do have these planted in my perennial garden, although I will give everyone fair warning that deer also find them delightful, so you may want to bear that in mind when planting. They do attract hummingbirds, butterflies, and pollinators to the garden though, which is a big plus for these delightful plants. In these last few containers I'm sharing, you'll see quite a bit again of the Angelonia, which I've found to be just a great annual. They're also using creeping Jenny a lot here, which is that lovely chartreuse colored draping vine at the base of the plant. I absolutely love the tangerine vinca in this container, along with the chrysandra, elephant ears, and coleus. Now the next few containers were on a smaller scale, and I felt like they would be more easily replicated for a home garden with smaller containers or perhaps on a balcony. I saw several using different varieties of snake plants either as a centerpiece or freestanding plant. Here they have the gold band snake plant combined with hip hop spurge or euphorbia, salsa roja coleus, and trailing white vinca. Lastly, we have a plant that I've always admired in garden centers but haven't planted myself, and that's the Prince Tut Dwarf Egyptian Papyrus, planted along with Hans Black Star Snake plant, White Vinca Cora, Savola Sapphire Blue, and rounding it out with Goldilocks Creeping Jenny. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I had such a great time at Atlanta Botanical Gardens and really just got some great ideas, particularly on those container plantings. I just thought it was lovely. And I always love picking up new ideas and new ways of looking at things when I'm visiting different gardens. I hope that you guys got some ideas for your gardens as well. So thank you so much again. Now please make sure to stay tuned for my upcoming videos, which you can do by subscribing and clicking that notification bell so that you can be notified each time I upload a new video. All right, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful week. And until next time, happy gardening and goodbye.